Hi. I never trust that it's going to start taping, so I always have to stare at the numbers really close until I see them moving. Hi guys. Welcome back to yoga. It's another beautiful day in northern Jersey. It's day 101 if you're counting from the last day of, the Saturday after the last day of school. It's been 101 days. 101 days. So that's a lot of days. I hope everyone's well. I hope everyone's feeling good. I hope everyone's getting outside and getting some fresh air because that makes everything better. We're just going to get right into it today. We're just going to do some real basic stuff, and then we're going to play with a couple balance poses that we haven't done in a few weeks, I guess. And just see how we're doing with our balance today. See if we're feeling centered and balanced and, all that good stuff. You never know. So, get comfy, get on your backs, unroll your mat first. Get on your backs, arms at your side, palms up, and I'll meet you there, okay? Have you guys done anything new, anything fun and exciting since we were together last? Oh my gosh, I'm ridiculously sore right now. The other night, Sunday night, Father's Day, we went to my parents and we sat in the backyard, and my parents sit on their deck and we bring takeout, and that's how we hang out with my parents. And we got home and Alex said, hey, does anyone want to do an ab workout? And I didn't really want to, but when your 14-year-old asks you to do something with them, you never ever say no. And that was Sunday. Today is Tuesday. I am so sore, which I hope means I did everything right, but I'm really uncomfortable. Just really uncomfortable. I walked a couple miles this morning with the dog and Cam, and it's Tuesday, so I did my 21-minute and 40-second Tabata workout, and that made it a lot worse. So, I'm not sure how much I'm going to participate with you as much as talk you through things today. I'll probably end up doing it all with you, but I'm sore. I'm really sore. So, what else do I have to report? I got a haircut yesterday. You can't tell, and you won't be able to tell, maybe ever, because apparently this is just how I wear my hair now every single day. It was awkward. It wasn't comfortable or relaxing at all. I was in and out in like 17 minutes. I had to hold my mask up against my face the whole time. No hair washing, no blow drying. I walked in with sweaty workout hair. I walked out with sweaty workout hair. And I think my stylist, Sweet Megan, I think she was just as uncomfortable with the whole thing as I was. It was their first day back. I mean, I was happy to get my ends cut off. I don't even know because I haven't washed it or blown it out yet, but I think she cut off like 1.5 inches. I don't know. But my ends were just looking crummy, and I'm not good about going regularly for haircuts as it is. So it wasn't like I went in the beginning of May and was just a couple months behind. I probably went in like December, maybe January, November. I don't even know. I'm just not good about it. So I did that yesterday, and then my best friend and I went to our nail place and had pedicures. Also not relaxing at all. They now have a piece of plexiglass that hangs down in front of you, and it separates you from the nail technician, and every other chair is empty. So you can still see other people and talk to other people if you want to, but you've got quite a bit of space between you, which I like. I'm fine with that, but it just wasn't comfortable. It just wasn't comfortable. I mean, thank gosh, my toes look 1,000 times better, my feet feel better, but not relaxing. I don't know. I hope one day it feels relaxing again, but it's not for me at least. So I don't know. Maybe you guys did something like that yesterday too, and it was awesome, and you felt so good. I hope so. Not for me, not yet. I also had to put some makeup on yesterday, and I seem to have forgotten how. I stared into my basket of makeup and forgot what powder I used for what and what brushes I used for what. And it's been 3 months since I've done anything but like lotions and serums and lip balms. So that was not fun either. This is hard, right? This is hard. It wasn't even, I don't know about you guys, but when it first started, it wasn't as hard as I'm finding it to be now. Now it's more like a mental thing with me, and we're trying to be so careful because we don't want to risk getting my dad sick, who we think is really high risk. And I don't know, it's like mentally inside my head right now. So I'm super thankful for yoga, for walking the dog, for binge shows on Netflix. Right now I'm watching Mistresses, which is really good. I don't know. I hope the unease goes away, but I did go through the Starbucks drive-thru today. I had to get my oil changed today, and that was fine. That's usually nothing anyway. But I went through the Starbucks drive-thru, and there was a line outside Home Goods, which did make me laugh because I love home decorating. I love Home Goods. I love Marshalls. I love all those places, but I don't need to run there right now. And the line just, I don't know, it just made me laugh that people were in line for Home Goods. So, all right, you're lying on your back, right? Your arms are at your side, palms up. I am so thankful that this platform works for yoga right now and that we can still practice together. But at this point in my class, I'm usually saying, does anyone have any injuries? Does anyone have anything I need to be worried about or concerned about? Is anyone newly pregnant? What do I need to know? What do I need to know so I can watch you and make sure that you're okay during your practice and that you're safe? And I miss being able to say that and then get responses back. I hope that everyone's feeling great, but you have to kind of, work this for yourself right now. So lying on your back, start at the top of your head, work your way down. And just notice if anything's off. And maybe it's something that's more chronic, like you had a back surgery 15 years ago and you still get little weird tightness and twinges there, or maybe you have a metal rod somewhere. I know that that's not so uncommon for some people. Anything. But take notice of it, and then as we move through our practice, I can't be there to like kneel down next to you and say, don't do this instead. You have to just use your best judgment and your common sense. I hate that part of this, but it's better than nothing, right? So lie on your back, arms at your side, palms up, and start at the top of your head, work your way down, and just mentally go through a little checklist. Notice how you're feeling. Just, take note of it and then push it to the side so that you can go back to it later, so that if we're doing something that seems to make you a little bit uncomfortable, we can, you can adjust it, okay? When we were doing this ab workout the other night, we were doing something similar to boat in yoga, where you find that sweet spot on your tailbone and your legs are up in the air and your arms are reaching forward. And that part in my low back is super sensitive right now. I think we did 3 of them, but we held them for 30 seconds each. But I'm a little bit sensitive on that part of my low back, on my tailbone right now, and I know that that's what it was. But I don't know about you, when I get sore from working out, I really like that. It makes me feel like I did things right. And it also makes me feel like I touched on areas that I might not normally touch on, that need me to touch on them. So I don't mind being sore, but this is uncomfortable sore. But like I said, when your 14-year-old asks you to do something with them, you don't say no. At least I don't say no. So arms are out. Take some nice deep breaths. In through the nose. Draw the breath all the way down into the low belly. Hold it there for a comfortable couple of seconds. And then slowly exhale. And then start the process over again. Inhale. Hold it there. And then exhale. And start over. I don't know about you, but if you took the last class, we did a little bit of breath work at the end. And I just felt really good after we did that. We just did a couple minutes. It was very light. 3-part breath, and a fire breathing is what it's called, and it just I don't know, it just made me feel really good for like the whole rest of the day. So just a couple minutes of just being very conscious of your breath can sometimes just make your whole day feel better. So even as you're lying here and you're just breathing, right? You're just breathing. Pay attention to the breath. Pay attention to the inhale. Hold it. Do a little bit of a count. Slowly exhale. Try to make your exhale a little bit longer than your inhale. So at my salon, when you get your hair cut, they only have 2 stylists. Are you okay? They only have 2 stylists, and when you're near the salon, they text you and tell you to come in. You can't come in and just sit and wait. You can't bring any kids in with you. If your kids are shaggy and mangy, that's just too bad. And the stylists are in separate corners of the room so that you're very far apart from everybody. But like I said, it was like 17 minutes from start to finish. It was like the quickest haircut ever. And normally I like getting my hair cut. It does, but no, not relaxing at all. So she cut my hair, and it's pretty much been like this ever since yesterday. Pull the knees into the chest. Let's do a twist, okay? Let's go wide. I'm going to do this with you, actually, because I think this will feel good. My lemon water. I got my huge Starbucks this morning, and I've been recycling the cup. I'm particular about ice. Are you guys particular about ice? Oh my gosh, that hurts. I'm not even kidding you guys. I'm so sore. I'm so sore. Okay, arms out. I'm gonna make a lot of moany, groany noises today. I think arms out, palms up, knees are in. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, drop your legs over to the right. Oh my gosh. So legs are relaxing, legs are down on the right. You're looking at your left hand, and your arms are out flat on the ground. You should have this down to a science by now because we've done this so many times. It's my favorite way to start class. It just sort of wakes you up really gently. And again, go back to the conscious breathing, right? Inhaling. Exhaling the breath. Let your body melt into the pose, right? Let your body just sort of fall into the pose. So because I got my oil change today, I didn't walk at like 9 like I normally do. I walked around 11 with Cam on his bike and the dog on her leash. Man, it was so much hotter at 11 than, normally I'm still dripping in sweat and I'm disgusting, but it was so bad. It was so bad. And I always forget to bring water. I don't want to carry it, so I always forget to bring it. Bad news. All right, knees up to center. This is going to really hurt me. If you're just coming in late and you fast forwarded or something to ignore all my talk, I did an ab workout with Alex, and it wasn't hard, but now I'm feeling it. Come on into a happy baby. So big toes or outer edges of your feet, and find your movement. Now, let's just play for a second here. Go straight up with your feet. Press out through the backs of your knees. Lengthen from the back of the hip out through the heel. So pull the big toe down and try to pull the whole top of the foot down, right? If you can get a grip on the whole top of your foot, do that. Press out through the back of the knee. Really press your low back into the ground. And then come back into happy baby. Find your movement again. And then arms out, and we're gonna drop our legs over to the left. Turn your head, look towards your right hand, unless you have a neck issue, in which case look straight up. But if you can, turn your head, look towards your right hand. Knees up to center. This is the part that really hurts. Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. Happy baby. Go wide, pull the knees down, find a little movement. So now we're going to go straight again. Bring the legs closer together. Press up through the balls of the feet. Press out through the backs of the knees. And then we're going to bend our knees, bring our feet down to the ground. Bottoms of the feet together. Knees dropping out to the sides. Arms are going to come into cactus. So you have a little bend in the elbow, but you've got the back of the wrist, the back of the hand flat on the ground. Let the knees drop. Let the outside of the knees drop. You're going to feel this need to hold them up so that you don't get quite as deep of a stretch in your inner thigh and your groin. And I know that might be more comfortable, but that's not what we're doing this for. We want the stretch. So let the knees drop. Feel the lengthening, inner thigh and groin. And then bring the knees up. Let's do the opposite. Let's go wide with our feet and tower our legs in, but keep your arms in the cactus position, right? We might as well softly open our shoulders without much effort while we're just moving around a little bit down below and lengthening thigh muscles, groin muscles, hip muscles, everything in between. Okay, now you're going to bring your knees up. You're going to cross your right over your left. And without using your arms, my hands are going to stay down in cactus. I'm going to energetically and muscularly push this knee away from me. So it's not so much something you can see, but it's something I can feel in the back of that thigh and mostly in the back of that hip, like in the back of the hip area. So you're using your thigh muscles, you're using your hip muscles, you're using your inner thigh muscles, and you're pushing the knee away from you to create space in the hip. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. So use the muscular energy that you have in there. Push the knee away towards the wall in front of you and create space in that hip socket without a whole lot of effort, right? All right, feet on the ground. We're going to extend the right leg straight up in the air, and we're going to make circles with our ankle. Go in one direction first. You choose the direction. Go in one direction. And then go in the opposite direction. And then let's bring that knee down. Let's do the same thing on the opposite leg. So left leg up, choose a direction, make your circles. Opposite direction. I'm not so good at the opposite direction. I feel like I'm more coordinated the other way. This is really wonky. All right, foot down. One more time. Soles of the feet together, knees out to the sides. Let the knees drop as low as they want to, even if it feels a little bit uncomfortable in your inner thigh muscles and your groin muscles. All right, knees up to center. So rather than tower them in, we're just gonna lengthen the quads for a second. So go wide with your feet. Drop the right knee down to the inside of the left foot. You should feel this mostly on the top of your thigh, in your quad. And then bring it up. Let's do the same thing on the other side. So go wide again. Drop the left knee down. Holy moly, my quads are tight today. Oh my gosh. This does not feel great, but it's going to feel good when we're done. That's what I always know about yoga. All right, bring them up. So what we're going to do now is roll over to one side or just roll straight up. Fix your pants, right? That's what I have to do 1,000 times a day. And then come on over to hands and knees. Okay, here we go. You can't see her, but my dog is sitting on a chair in here, and she's so tired from walking in the heat that she's just being the best girl ever. She's been a little rambunctious lately. I have not been super happy with her, but she's being so sweet and quiet right now because she might have heat stroke. She doesn't have heat stroke, I'm kidding, but she's definitely tired. So spread your fingers nice and wide. Elbows are over the wrists. Little bend in the elbow, right? We talked about this early on, but if you're newer to my classes, let's just re-mention this. See how you can see the front of my elbows right now? They're whiter than the rest of my arm. See how you can see them? I don't want to see them when you're doing any poses with your hands on the floor like this. I always want you to have a little bend and the elbow creases facing in towards one another. It's better for your shoulders, and you want to protect yourself while you're practicing, but you also always want to get the optimum range of motion in anything so that you can move better. So if your arms are like this, you're hyperextending, we don't want that. Turn the elbow creases in, put a little micro bend, and then just relax into the pose. So shoulders over wrists, and we're just gonna start to cat and cow. You inhale, drop your head, press your spine up, exhale, arch your back, and look, oh my gosh, this hurts. Oh my gosh. Ugh. I don't have a strong core, I know that, which is probably why I don't focus on core stuff. Alex has a really strong core because he's a swimmer. But it was good the other night. It didn't hit me until today. Yesterday I felt fine, but I knew it was going to be a second day of pain. That's usually how I work with stuff. When I'm in pain from working out, it usually takes me 2 days. Exaggerate these movements. Arch your back really dramatically. And then when you round up, do it the same way. Do it with a big movement. Do it with a lot of emphasis on pressing down into the ground, pressing out of your shoulders. Inhale, swoop forward. And then exhale one more time up. From here, we're going to come into a wide knee child's pose. So big toes touch, knees go out to the sides, hips press back, arms are out in front of you, forehead down to the ground. right, guys, come on up. Nicely done. So from here, we're going to come up into our downward facing dog. But again, watch your elbow creases, okay? I don't want to see them. I'm sure they're lovely, but I still don't want to see them. I want you to have full range of motion in your shoulder. So no hyperextending, little bend. Spread the fingers nice and wide. Press every part of your hand into your mat. Curl your toes under, lift your hips, come on up into dog. Little bend in the knees, lift the hips higher. Arch the back a little bit even, and then lengthen down through the heels by pressing out through the backs of the knees. Find your breath here. Inhale forward into your plank. Hips to the floor. High cobra. This hurts. Now again, elbow creases. Not this, this. Nice deep breathing here. Unclench your butt. That's going to make you feel uncomfortable later. You don't want that. Lower all the way down, and we're going to windshield wiper our legs. So turn your head to one side, make a little pillow, make a little shelf with your arms, put your head down, windshield wiper the legs. Okay, bring the legs down behind you. So let's just do another quad stretch while we're down here, right? As Cam would say, why not? So we're going to use our left arm to stabilize us, to hold us up. You're going to put it crossways across the front of your mat so it's parallel with the front edge of your mat. Bend up your right foot. Is my foot dirty? A little bit. I walk around barefoot. If I'm not wearing running shoes or like flip-flops, I'm barefoot. And I always need to keep clean. We have white tiles in the kitchen floor and they always need to be clean, so sorry. Arm out in front of you, thumb down, palm out to the side. Okay, you're doing it this way for a reason. So when you make your big rainbow motion with your arm, you end up with your thumb up. See how my thumb is pointing up on the bottom of my foot? That's what I want, because I can bend my elbow in and it's not locked, which means my shoulder's not locked either. That's what you want. If your thumb is down, if you're holding it like this, there's really nowhere to go. So you want to be holding the inside edge of your foot, the arch side, thumb pointing up. And then just gently bend the elbow in. Just pull the foot down a little. It doesn't have to be a big movement, but you're going to feel it a little bit in the front of your quad and the front of your hip. And that's what you want. And then go back to your breath. And release your leg. So now we're going to windshield wiper again, okay? Side to side, left to right, front to back, whatever feels good. Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So bring down your right leg. So we're going to start the same way. We're going to prop ourselves up with our right arm being parallel to the front edge of our mat. Left arm out in front, thumb down, palm out. Big rainbow motion. Reach for the inside of your foot. Your thumb ends up pointing up, right? Bend the elbow in a little. Just gently bend the knee. Pull the heel a little out to the side, a little bit down. You just want to feel the stretch in the front of your thigh. That's all. It doesn't take much, at least for me. I'm tight there, so just this little bit and I can feel it. right, windshield wiper again. Doesn't this feel good? This is such a simple, easy thing to do. It just feels good. It loosens your low back, loosens your hips a little. At least for me it does. I don't dislike this. Okay, so let's press back up onto hands and knees. Spread your fingers nice and wide, curl your toes under, and just press back. If you need to shuffle your knees forward a little bit, do that. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Cat and cow. Inhale, drop the head, press the spine up. Exhale, arch the back, and look up towards me. Flat back here. We're going to press up into downward facing dog, so no elbow creases, right? Get them to face in towards one another. Curl the toes under, lift the hips, come on up. Wiggle your pants down. Inhale forward into a plank, engage the core. Press back into your dog. Drop the heels, see how close you can get them. We're going to walk our hands back to a pike position at the back end of our mat. And we're going to cross at the elbows and hang. Release your hands. Let's walk back out. Coming back into our dog. And then from here, we're going to walk our feet up, coming into a standing forward bend at the front end of the mat. So feet come in. And go onto fingertips at the front if you want. And again, cross at the elbow just to give yourself a little more weightiness. I can't explain why it pulls you deeper. I just know that it does, and it feels good. Drop the head. Make sure the back of the neck is nice and loose. Release the fingertips. Inhale up to a flat back. Arch your back and look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale up. One more, flat back. And fold forward. Now from here, very slowly, very consciously, let the arms be really heavy and weighty down here. You're going to roll all the way up to stand, one vertebrae at a time, with your head coming upright as the very last thing. Take your time here. And then lift the head. Maybe do some circles with your head, your neck, just to kind of loosen things up. That feels pretty good, right? I'm wearing too much shirt right now. Make some circles. Not sure what's going on in the kitchen. All right, let's just take the right hand, wide palm, big space, just resting on your head above the left ear, and just let the weight of the arm lengthen the muscles on the left side of the neck. You're not pulling, you're not tugging, you're not doing anything like that. You're just letting the weightiness from the arm pull your head a little bit down towards the right shoulder. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Left hand, open palm, right on the head above the right ear. And again, not a lot of effort on your part, just using your own body weight to pull you deeper into the stretch. Feels good. Okay, that feels good, right? Press up. Move your hands behind you a little bit. Maybe to the side a little bit, lengthening your side body. Now you're going to stand with your hands interlaced behind you, and you're going to come into a forward bend. Drop your head, and then press your palms together and start to lift them up off your back. Big breath in. Exhale. Release the hands down. Let's inhale up, flat back. Exhale and fold. Inhale up, flat back. Exhale and fold. One more time. Inhale up, flat back. Exhale and fold. Cross at the elbows. And then slowly release the hands to the ground. Roll all the way up. Head is going to be the very last thing up. So simple, right? But it feels good. I hope it feels good for you. It feels good for me. Sometimes simple when it comes to yoga is just what hits the spot. Like ice water with lemon. Okay, so let's play with balance for a minute. See how we're doing. Let's start out with one that's both feet on the ground, right? A lot of balance poses are 1 foot on the ground. So this one, you're just going to come up onto your toes. Arms are going to come out, palms up. You're going to hinge at the waist. Bend the knees. Go a little, I don't know if you can see my feet. Okay, so I'm on my toes, hinging at the waist, bending my knees, just playing with how high I can go on my toes and still maintain the pose. This is unofficially called airplane. Big breath in. Exhale, hands to the floor. Stay high on the toes right now. See, my heels aren't on the ground. I'm on my toes. That's where I want you to be as well. Drop the head. And then heels down. Cross at the elbows. Put my pants down. And we'll roll all the way up. When you go high on your toes and you do your forward bend, it forces you into a deeper forward bend because you don't have, because you're creating that space under your heel in the ground. So you get a different hamstring stretch, you get a different quad stretch, you get a different stretch in the back of your calves and your Achilles. I used to teach a class, I haven't done this in years, but I used to teach a class that was all women, and I would ask them once in a while to bring in their highest heel that they were comfortable wearing. And luckily, you know, like wedges are always in style, so most people would bring in wedges. I would bring in wedges. But when you do a lot of poses wearing a high wedge, it gives you a totally different appreciation for balance, but also for what your hamstrings are capable of. So maybe when we're back together and we're at our usual spot, maybe we'll do a high heel class. It won't be fair to the couple of guys that come to class, but I'll give them blocks or something instead, right? It's fun though. It's fun, and it's just, it kind of like, you know, it's yoga that you laugh about and you don't take too seriously, which is nice to do. But it definitely opens your eyes to how tight your hamstrings are. So let's come into tree. I know for me, before I had kids, I could put my leg above my knee. Now my leg goes below my knee. I don't know what the difference is. It's my tight hips. But I like to roll up my pants so that I'm doing skin onto skin. For some reason that sticks better for me than trying to stick the bottom of my foot to my pants, because it's energy pushing in two directions when you do tree. So I'm pressing my foot into my leg, but I'm also muscularly pressing my leg back into the bottom of my foot to create that energetic connection. Okay, so you have three options. You have a lot of options actually. You can keep your foot way down here in bush. You can go a little bit higher, which is what I prefer. You don't want to go on your knee though. You want to be above or below your knee. So if you're above your knee, fantastic. If you're below your knee, that's fine too. Whatever you're doing, you just want to shift your weight onto your standing leg, which for me right now is my left leg. So I'm going to shift my weight into my left leg. I'm going to press the bottom of my right foot into my left leg, but I'm also going to press my left leg muscles into the bottom of my right foot. And then there are lots of hand options. Good one for balance. Another big one, some people like to do temple up here. And some people like to keep it low, which is kind of what I like to do. So take your pick. Find something to stare at in front of you that's not moving. In yoga, it's called a drizdi. Find something that isn't moving and just bring your gaze there for just a couple seconds. And then we're going to bring the foot down and release the hands. And we're going to shake out that standing leg because it gets a little tight, right? It's got a lot of pressure on it. It's the main guy in the pose. So let's go to the other side now. Now, if you noticed, I didn't tell you what side to do first, because normally people will go to their stronger side without even realizing they're doing it. And I wanted you to feel confident. So this side may not be as good for you. You may be shakier, you just may not be able to maintain it. You may have to put your foot lower. Who knows, right? Who knows where you're at today? But same thing, pick where you're going to put your foot, and then muscularly press the foot into the leg, press the leg into the foot, press the knee behind you, and decide where you want your hands. Find your drizdi, find what you're staring at, what you're bringing your gaze and your focus to. Big breath in, foot down, release the hands, and then just do whatever feels good here. I kind of like to bend. I like to bend my knees. And come on up. Okay, so that's our second balance. Let's do one more. I think we did bound eagle a while ago. It's been 101 days, so it could have been like 99 days ago. I don't know. But again, pick your better side, pick your stronger leg. For me, that's always going to be starting with my left leg on the ground. So you're going to cross your right over your left, muscularly squeeze everything in. So your right leg is over your left leg, correct? So this with your arms is the opposite. I'm going to do left over right, and I'm going to sit a little bit into the pose and lift my hands. You're very pretzel-y in this pose, right? Big breath in. Exhale the breath. One more. Inhale. And exhale. And come on out. Shake it out. Shake it out, shake it out. Cam and I are big fans of Taylor Swift. It's a Taylor Swift song. Shake it off, I think is the song. Shake it off. So, okay, putting your balance onto your other leg. So now I'm going to cross my left over my right, squeeze them together. And this time I'm going to cross my right arm over my left, squeeze them together, and sit into the pose a little bit. under your arms, under your legs. Do whatever feels good here. And come on up. So, we're going to end with a slightly different Shavasana today. I want you to roll up your mat, okay? Roll it up nice and tight. No like loosey-goosey rolls. You want this to be super tight. Start at the top. Be very precise here. Roll it up like a fruit roll-up. This mat is so old and soft and floppy that it doesn't give me a nice thick roll anymore. But it's nice and tight. See how there's not a lot of space? That's what you want. So you're going to take your mat and you're going to figure out where you're going to lie. Okay? So for me, you want your mat to be, if you're wearing a sports bra, you want the mat to be at the base of your sports bra. So if I were to lie over my mat right here, it's pretty good. It hits the bottom of my sports bra. And I want to be able to bring my arms out and have them be on the other side of the mat. So my head's going to come down. My arms are going to be out, and then I'm going to bring my legs out long in front of me. And depending on the thickness of your mat, this is just going to give you a little bit of a lift underneath your ribs, underneath your torso, underneath your lungs. Arms are out, palms are up. Close your eyes and just find your breath. If you want to come into a cactus position here, that's an even bigger shoulder opener, but it feels really good. And if this is just too much for you, if you have a really fat mat, maybe just roll it up halfway and lay on half of it, or just ditch the whole thing and lay flat on your back. Do whatever feels best. You don't have to do this because I'm telling you to do it. Close your eyes and find your breath here. It's a little bit of a forced back bend, but it's also a therapeutic pose. And I know you all have mats, so it's a prop that I'm confident everyone has right at their fingertips. Find your breath. Inhaling and exhaling. Notice if it's a little bit harder to draw that breath all the way down into the low belly. And if it is, concentrate on your breath and see if within a couple breaths it becomes a little bit easier. And if this is a lot on your low back, you can also bend up your knees, go wide with your feet, tower your knees into one another. That takes a little bit of the arch out of your back that we're putting there by using the roll. Just a couple more breaths here. And then we're all going to bend our knees. We're going to make our way over to the right off of the roll. And we're going to press ourselves up to a comfortable seated position. Hands are going to come to your heart in prayer. And we're just going to take a deep breath in. Exhale the breath. One more inhale. Namaste. That's it for today. I hope that was good for you. I hope you liked that ending. I like that pose a lot. I have big bolsters that I do it with, and I have all different thickness mats, so sometimes I make it a bigger roll, and sometimes I make it a tinier roll depending on how my back feels, but it's just a nice opener, and I like that, so I hope you like that too. Enjoy the rest of your day. It's gonna be nice, I think, the next couple days, right? So get outside, maybe go to the beach. That's our plan tomorrow. But just, you know, do something that makes you feel good. And if there's anything you want me to know or anything you might like to try doing in class, message me or text me or DM me or email me. Or there's so many options. Stick a letter in my mailbox. Otherwise, I'll see you in a few days, okay? Take care, you guys. Thank you for coming.